Osh YouTubers, and it's been quite a while since I've done this. Um, don't start a hobby when you've just started your freshman year of college. Yeah, you don't seem to have time, and some stuff happened. But hey, I'm here to review. Normally I'd give a little skit about what I'd be doing, but I lack the blood and fake ketchup to do so, so on with the review.
研ぎ澄まされた運命を立て今輝くためにこの牙を抜け自然は乗り越えられない人に襲いかかりはしない
Alright, Akira was written by Otomo Katsuhiro and is regarded as a 2,182 sci-fi epic. I remember when that used to be a large number. Not so much anymore. Most people might remember this as a movie than reading the manga, and the manga is horrendously long. If you plan on reading it, I recommend one volume a day. I read the whole thing in a day, and it stole my soul. But I'm easily distracted. The main plot of Akira is that it focuses on the protagonist, Kaneda, as he dives into the underbelly of Japan's military and he figures out that they're researching psychics, espers, whatever you want to call it, people that bend spoons. As he's doing this, his friend Tetsuo is slowly becoming a psychic himself, and we follow them both as Kaneda digs deeper into the military and as Tetsuo tries to deal with his psychic abilities for the better or for the worse. The plot of Akira is very complicated and it has many themes that it just tries to throw at your face at once. I feel that some themes get lost in this whole shuffle, but the main underlying theme that it can clearly show you is that the universe is destined, and as the people within it, we also have destinies that must be fulfilled. Personally, I hate this plot because that's not what I believe in, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? And it does deliver that plot very well. It also takes the other themes and stack them on top of each other, building up to that one big underlying theme, and it just blows up in your face like fireworks. The characters in Akira are really weak to me. Personally, I don't like them, and they're just there to serve the plot. The only main characters that you will really like are Akira and Tetsuo. But since I should go deeper into this fact as much as I don't want to, let's focus on the three main characters. We have Kaneda, the protagonist. He has little to no character development at all. He's very see-through. He's your average protagonist, wants to go and stop the bad guy. The bad guy happens to be his friend. He wants to save him and beat him up at the same time because his best friend is the protagonist. Kaneda has no... you could replace him with anybody else. But Tetsuo's different. Because Tetsuo is pretty much Kaneda's bitch, he has this inferiority complex that he must deal with throughout the whole manga. And it's constantly shown back at that, how he sees himself as someone lower than Kaneda, and how he wants to surpass him. And when he does gain his psychic powers, he does what every person does who has an inferiority complex to the main character. They turn into a douche. The only difference is he's the main antagonist of the story. So, yeah, I don't really like that. And you go through the whole story and you see him change, become a bit better, but by the end, all of that is just snatched away, and it's probably snatched away by the plot. And the last character, the title character, Akira, he is a mystery wrapped within an enigma. He stands as the thing everyone wants to be. Apparently, he is out of that flow that I was talking about earlier. He is a godlike being, but in the end, he's just shown as a small child who wants to be with his friends. You don't really learn all that much about him, but It's better that way, and it helps build up upon the fact that you don't really know what he is and what he's thinking. The art being somewhat dated, it still looks very good, especially with the character emotions and how the facial expressions work, even though the main expressions you'll be seeing are shock and fear. Another good thing is the backgrounds. They portray the scenery quite well. It goes from a war-torn era to a post-apocalyptic, there we go, I can enunciate words, era, and means it basically goes from shit to worse. Not the art style, the backgrounds. It seriously, it goes from horrible looking buildings to more horrible looking buildings. They look nice, but that's pretty much all you see. It'd be nice to see a tree. I probably saw one of those there, someplace. This manga can get very depressing. Please read when you're in a good mood. The overall uniqueness of this manga has to be its plot. It's very original. You don't see many things like it. It was great. But personally, I think it would have been better as a movie, but that would have been a long ass movie. But in the end, you will come to like the plot, or at least the base plot of this manga. And I personally didn't like it, but it is good. I know good when I see it. In the end, the score for the manga was the hardest for me to do because it was very different and I personally didn't care for it all that much. It made me rethink my rating system in adding a genre segment. And for a sci-fi genre, this manga gets an easy 5 out of 5. It's perfect. It gives you all the technology things, it goes in deep detail, even though it's dealing with the mystical psychic, it gives scientific reasoning for why it is that way, and it relates back to nature like any good sci-fi should. As a manga itself and overall, I have to give it a 4.5 out of 5 because it did have really weak characters. And I know they were there just to serve the plot, therefore making it a greater plot, but the characters were just weak. When they talked about how they felt about things, especially the old Esther, Miyako, she sounded so preachy, like she was certain that she was right about everything, and you needed to listen to her, or else she was wrong. But that could also be put in a way as how she wanted to control other characters and their actions they could take. But the way that she just preached to them made it feel like she was preaching to you, the reader, which is something I honestly don't like. The fact that the characters are as weak as they are probably won't make that much of a personal connection with the story as it would want, which is why I'm holding back on that score from that last point. Personally, I didn't want to do a big manga review, like, a big name manga, because as I thought, it would really make me rethink everything about this process, the editing, the script. The only thing that I keep the same are the intros, which are personalized for each manga, but I really want to dig deeper and make this the best I can. So let me end this now. Let's see, how should I end this? When I review a manga about a little girl and an otaku, mata ao. Might not know what that means, so there will be subtitles. Don't worry.